JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 3rd of July 2020, so yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's afternoon session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts that we looked at this morning, just to see how everything's kind of getting along today. But as always, before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which if you click here on the top, it'll take you to this page, which we update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com, and I believe you can find some useful information. Now then, let's have a look at this. A few indices here. Just a quick update on what's happening with some of these instruments. Now, the FTSE 100. I spoke about the FTSE this morning, and basically the index kind of initially pushed higher. It seemed that it could actually finally kind of move to the north. However, as you can see, it is declining today. It's moving back down, and basically most likely it's going to end the day virtually kind of unchanged, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just click on the weekly candle. So yep, the week might end up being virtually unchanged, so maybe there's going to be a bit of more interesting activity next week. So for now, basically it violated this downside line taken from the high of the 8th of June, so basically we can get rid of that, and now mainly keep an eye on this little short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 22nd of May. But if you want, I mean, we can also draw something here, capturing the low, or should I say starting this upside line from the low the 23rd of March. But to be honest, all of these lines are going to be tentative a little bit, so that's why we're probably, let's get rid of that for now. Let's focus mainly on some of these support and resistance levels. So in terms of the upside, we need to see that break above the 6,342 territory, roughly around here, before kind of, let's say, aiming for slightly higher levels. As you can see also today, the index did move higher initially, but failed to overcome the 100-day EMA, shown here as the green line, and kind of drifted back down. So but still we cannot really even talk about the downside yet until we see a break below the 5,962 area, somewhere around here, because that marks the low of the 20th of May and also the low of the 15th of June. So you have good potential target here. Keep your eyes on that one, and let's see which way this one's going to break out to. Gold. Quick update on gold here. To be honest, not much has changed. It still kind of is unchanged in a way. We haven't seen any huge moves today, so basically it's just flat, but remains above the short-term upside support line taken from the low the 5th of June. Now yesterday we did get a brief breakout here. However, as you can see, the bulls quickly pushed the commodity back above this upside line, kind of managed to close also above it. So today the commodity kind of continues to trade above that line, so it still kind of keeps this scenario that I talked about previously in play. This scenario was previously the one that I mentioned, was that in a way we could see a bit of a correction here to the downside, but if this upside line continues to provide support, we may see another round of buying. For now, it is working out. However, we need some stronger moves to the upside here, but again, maybe something for next week. Quick update on Brent oil. Again, not much as is happening here today. As you are aware, the U.S. markets are closed. So to be honest, here, I mean, unless something comes out from the in the headlines, but to be honest, it seems that this commodity might end up the week in this little range here, roughly between the 36.96 level and the 43.40 zone. But again, for now, we're just kind of observing the price action here. It is closer to the upper bound of this little range, but we need that confirmation break in order to kind of aim for higher levels. Until then, we're just going to remain neutral. Ripple is pushing higher. It's trying to make its way higher, but to be honest, let's see where this where it's going to end up today. However, I mean, for now, it's really difficult to talk about this. Yes, it is still trading below this downside line taken from the high of the 30th of April, but as you can see recently, this level here, the 0.1743 territory, kind of act as a decent area of support, although we did get a few overshoots here, but still neither of the daily candles managed to close below this, and today even we're seeing a bit of a reversal to the upside. However, it's not really significant enough to kind of, let's say, to consider a possible move back to the to this downside line. Of course, ideally we would like to see a break of this downside line in order to aim for higher levels, but what we could do here is keep your eyes on this level here, 0.1813 mark. A nice good push above that may also place the price above the 21-day EMA, and maybe then we could consider a possible move towards this downside line. Until then, we're not really doing anything. We're just observing the price action here, and given the fact that it's actually closer to the 0.1743 territory, we're still going to remain a little bit, let's say, cautiously bearish. But again, in order to aim for those lower levels, a daily close below this area would be needed. AUD/USD, now here the pair is still moving higher, slowly, of course, nothing really drastic, but after it managed to break this this triangle pattern here, you can see that the pair continues with the upside. Of course, the fact that it managed to break the upper side of this triangle, of course, that's kind of seen as a bullish indication. However, to get a little bit more comfortable with higher levels, we would prefer to wait for a push above this barrier, the high of last week, which is around the 0.6975 level. A nice good pop above that could in a way open the door towards the highest point of June, near the 0.7064-65 zone, and then we would take it from there. In terms of the downside, we would need to see a drop not only below this or this lower side of the triangle, or in other words, right now it's going to be mainly this upside line, so we can actually get rid of this upper bound of the triangle, which was the downside line, and focus mainly on this little short-term tentative upside support line taken from the low of the 15th of June. A nice good drop below this would also place the rate below the 21-day EMA, but again, just for that maybe extra confirmation, a drop below the 0.6807 territory, somewhere around here, could do the trick for more sellers. USDJPY, very quickly on this one, to be honest, not much is happening well for the past 2 days, and yesterday we had a bit of a quiet day, and today as well, as you can see. And basically, after the pair kind of overcame this barrier, the 107.64 level that I talked about in the beginning of the week, it ended up moving higher, tested the level near the 108.16, which also coincides with the 200-day EMA, and kind of reversed back to the downside. Now, again, this picture here doesn't really paint neither the bullish nor bearish kind of picture. So for now, probably what we're going to do here is, previously I talked about this level here, the 105.94 zone, break of which could kind of open the door towards lower levels. Yes, that's still the level that we're keeping an eye on. A nice good drop below this would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, maybe more sellers could be joining in here. However, if it moves to the downside here, closer to this area, it's still, all this here would be somewhat maybe of a neutral area for us, because even with the upside, we would prefer to wait for a push above the current high of this week. I mean, don't get me wrong, we still have let's say a few hours left, but a nice good pop above this high of this week near the 108.16 could do the trick here for more buyers, and we could see this one traveling towards the highest point of June near the 109.85 level. But again, for now, it is where it is. Maybe we'll get a nicer, better move in either direction next week. So keep your eyes on that one. But like as I said, in order to kind of, let's say, start considering either the upside or the downside. So for the upside, we would prefer maybe to consider higher levels if we get a push above the 108.16 zone. In terms of the downside, we'll take a bit of a conservative approach and wait for a drop below the 105.94 territory, and then aim for lower levels. Now, a quick update on GBPUSD. Again, nothing has changed since this morning. I've talked about this pair this morning, and basically I was telling you guys that, well, I mean, the fact that, yes, it broke this downside line taken from the high of the 10th of June, yes, that's wonderful for the bulls. However, to get a little bit more excited, maybe a push above the 1.2543 level would be required. But again, we're not really seeing any activity today here, so something that we'll keep for next week. We'll have a look at this one. We'll reevaluate this one next week, and we'll see where it could potentially go. For now, of course, taking into account that it broke this downside line, there is a possibility for this one to move higher. However, as I said, a confirmation break above the 1.2543 level maybe could do the trick for more buyers. Quick update on Euro NZD. This morning I talked about this one, and I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this lowest point of June. So you can see that the pair today is kind of testing this area. The big question here is, can we break this and can we move further south? If it does break below this level, of course this confirms a forthcoming lower low, and yep, further declines could be possible. But as I mentioned before, ideally, preferably a daily candle close here below this area could maybe do the trick for more sellers next week, and we could see this one sliding further south towards the lowest point of February this year. For now, we're just gonna keep an eye on this 1.7190 territory where the pair is currently stuck at. If we do get a nice drop below this, then yes, like I said, further declines could be possible. And finally, EURUSD. So here the pair is still stuck. Again, not much activity. It's still kind of sitting here in the same area. I mean, I spoke about this morning as well, and this whole week, and basically what I was saying, that in a way, as long as it kind of stays in this area right here between the 1.1168 territory and this downside line, then well, we will remain probably neutral, because as you can see, yesterday, for example, the pair did try to move higher. It did overshoot just by a little bit this downside line, but failed to kind of stay above it, and the bears kind of quickly took control and drove this one lower. However, as you can see, the 21-day EMA continues to provide decent support, so that's why not much is kind of happening here today. So maybe, well, not maybe, but we will definitely keep this one for next week. We'll see if eventually we could get an exit either through the 1.1168 territory here, because a break below this would confirm a forthcoming lower low, or a break of this downside line, and then maybe a push above the 1.1353 level in order to consider higher levels. So guys, I really hope you found it useful, and again, not much is happening here today, so yep, maybe this one's a little bit of a vague review, but yep, I hope you still kind of found it useful. So thank you very much for tuning in and watching it till the end. If you wanna capture my video on Monday, as always, my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. But for now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and yep, like I said, see you on Monday. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.